today I would like to talk about the JavaScript prototyping in terms of classes, and let's see how you can do that. So let's get started. So a simple example I have created is instead of calling it a class, what you do is something called constructor functions. So for example, we have an animal. Instead of calling it to be a part of a class, what we can call it a constructor function. And the construction function right now is just taking one parameter, the weight of the animal. And once that constructor function is invoked, all it is going to do is for the newly created object, it's going to add the weight, whatever the weight is. And it's also going to put in a date, which is essentially date.now. And this is what you can think of it as this is the way to add essentially properties on that class. So you can add properties like this. Uh, in terms of adding methods or functions for the class, what you want to do is you want to access the same animal variable here class. You want to access something called prototype, and you can add your methods. I only have one method here, age, and the age method is pretty straightforward. It just logs the difference between the date now minus whatever date this was created. So I'm already running this program and see what you want to do here. So I created a variable called moti, which is of the type animal. So it says new animal, and I give it a weight of 10. So it should have a weight of 10, and I call it to give me the age. And since I called it right away, it is going to print the age of essentially 0 here, you can see. But I can print it again, for example. And here you can see the age was printed to be whatever time it is taking. So the easiest way to think about is this. In the constructor function, the best practice is to add all the properties and to all the methods so that they are defined only once. You should add them to the name of the class, the prototype, and then you can add the methods. So if you look at this object, you can see it is of the type animal. It has the properties date and weight. And if you go up the proto chain, you can find the method age. So this is all fine and dandy. And let's say I want to extend this so that I can have something like a subclass of dogs. So I've already done that code. Let me just uncomment that, and I'm going to run it again, and I'll show you what it is. So let's just run this code again. And here I'm running this code again. So I'm going to show you how to create a subclass dog. So to again, obviously, we are going to start with the constructor function, and here I'm putting in a name and a weight. So name property can directly be attached to this because it doesn't really exist in the superclass. And to get to the superclass properties and be able to invoke the constructor function of the superclass, this is the standard way in JavaScript. What you want to do is type, this is the superclass animal. You want to do a call on this. You want to give it this instance that we are creating, and you pass the weight weight that is needed for the constructor, and then you can add some additional properties on it. So that's all good for creating the properties and being able to inherit. One more thing you want to do is you want to set the prototype for this subclass object to be the same as the prototype for this particular constructor function. And the way you want to do this in an optimal way is to call object.create animal.prototype, and this would set the prototype to be animal. When you do this, it basically wipes out the constructor. So I'm assigning it the constructor again, and so that it's available, because all of the functions or classes that are used constructor functions, they should have a constructor. And to add additional methods, for example, like get name, you can just follow the standard practice dog.prototype.getName. So if you see one run of it, now I basically assigned it as a dog. If I look at it, it's going to be part of a dog. It has the properties of the superclass like date and weight, and then it has the property name from here. If you go and can on up the proto chain, you can find the function get name. And if you go up the proto chain some more, you can also find the method age. So hopefully this is an easy way you can see how to run the subclasses and how to subclass and use the prototype inheritance method in JavaScript. If you want to know more, you can go to my website goreassociates.com and search for various JavaScript related videos, and I'll put this video in there. Thank you for watching this short screencast, and you have a great day.